Tonight's show had an amazing start, an okay to kind of disappointing middle, but a great end, and the return of Dwayne the Dwayne Dwayneson. Welcome everybody to my review of Bad Blood. To anyone that's new, welcome to the Wrestling with Eddie YouTube channel where we talk pro wrestling. We do Raw, SmackDown, and PLE reviews and a couple other videos here and there as well. So make sure to subscribe, comment what you thought of Bad Blood, and give the video a thumbs up because it helps that magical YouTube algorithm. And now let's talk about Bad Blood match by match. So the show started off with what I think should have been the main event, which is CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre in a Hell in a Cell match. This was easily the match of the night and also potentially a match of the year contender. CM Punk and Drew McIntyre put all on the line here and put on a fantastic match. It was brutal, it was bloody, and it was really hard to watch in some parts, but it was fantastic and there was a lot of storytelling. They did everything. They used the steps, they used the cell. They didn't go out of the cell, but I don't think they needed to. We didn't need a big moment from the top of the cell to make this Hell in a Cell match feel brutal. It ended in a way that really cemented the end of the storyline with CM Punk winning by putting all of the pieces of the bracelet in Drew McIntyre's mouth, wrapping a chain around his leg and giving him a go to sleep. Fantastic end, and they both sold how brutal that was. After the match, they both had like all the doctors check on all of them, so it really made the cell seem like a painful experience, and it really sets up that the Hell in a Cell, the next time it gets brought up, crowd are going to react to it because like I've talked a lot, and if you guys have been watching wrestling for a long time, the Hell in a Cell felt very lame for a long time, and this really brought back the importance of it and made sure that it was a storyline or rivalry ender, if you want. So excellent stuff. Big thumbs up. You guys got to go check this out. Now, I'll be honest, after that first match, the next 2 hours of the show for me was really not great. It wasn't bad, because again, WWE are still on fire and they're still putting on good stuff. But the next 3 matches and a couple things that happened, I was a little disappointed. So let's get into it. So the second match was Bayley versus Nia Jax. And I talked about how I really liked their SummerSlam match. And I thought this match for sure would be really good. And it was good, but I don't think it was as good as their SummerSlam match. And I felt like there was a couple big moments that didn't feel epic because there was slight botches and delays in everything that happened. Nia Jax was supposed to pull off a Hurricane Rana to Bayley, which if pulled off properly would have looked amazing, but they kind of messed up the spot and it didn't look great. There was another spot in the buckle where Bayley did a little sunset flip and was supposed to push Nia into the buckle, and Nia was a little bit delayed, so that also didn't look good. But then, I'll talk about it later, but Liv also did that spot. So again, if you guys know me, I've talked a lot about how I don't like when spots get duplicated in the same show. So that kind of ruined that one, especially because Liv and Rhea pulled it off better. So that was a little disappointing. The ending came where Nia Jax fell on the ref, which was a good way to knock the ref out, and that brought out Tiffany Stratton, and there was a little bit of like a miscommunication on whether or not she would cash in or not cash in. The crowd was really hot here. I said I didn't want Tiffy to cash in here. I feel like it's still a little too early, but listening to the crowd, I feel like they needed the cash in because the crowd weren't really into the Nia Jax and Bayley match, and they lost it when Tiffany Stratton came out. Of course, they followed the Hell in a Cell match, so that was going to be a hard match to follow, but the crowd was really dead throughout the whole match here, and I feel like when Tiffany came out, as a fan, I was like, they should have just done the cash in because I think that would have gotten the crowd really hyped up. And the no cash in and giving Nia Jax the win was the right call, but it really didn't help for the reaction from the crowd. Then we went into our third match, which was Finn Balor versus Damian Priest in a good match. This is exactly what you think it was going to be. A very good match up until near the end when Judgment Day all came out. Shenanigans. Damian Priest defeated all of them and won with the South of Heaven, which means, hopefully, if on Raw, Damian Priest has moved on and the Judgment Day have moved on, I'm okay with this ending. But if this continues, I'm going to be very upset. Again, it sucks to see Finn Balor lose. It sucks to see the Judgment Day just look like losers week after week and PLE after PLE. So hopefully, Damian Priest can move on to bigger and better things, and let's reset the Judgment Day as potential. I don't know how they're going to they're screwed. Then we had Triple H come out to make a historic announcement, which was that starting this year in November at every Crown Jewel PLE, so once a year in November, we're going to have a crown jewel champion. And the way they're going to crown that champion is by having the WWE champion fight the world heavyweight champion for the men and women's side. So far, it looks like at the Crown Jewel pay-per-view, we're going to have, or sorry, not pay-per-view, PLE, we're going to have Gunther versus Cody Rhodes, and technically Liv Morgan versus Nia Jax. Spoiler for the next match, but those are the two matchups that we're going to have. Oh, cool, I guess. It makes a pay-per-view like Crown Jewel that nobody really likes to watch for reasons have a little bit importance, but nothing that you can still skip it if you don't want to watch it. But if you decide to watch the show, there is a little bit of more bragging rights to it. And I always used to like the Survivor Series Raw versus SmackDown. So that's cool. We'll have to wait and see where this goes. But I love the idea of seeing Cody and Gunther fight it out. So yeah, thumbs up for the idea. I don't know if this is considered a historic announcement, though, so we'll see. Then our fourth match of the night was Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley with Dirty Dom hanging in the Shark Tank. Now, first of all, they changed where the Shark Tank is. If you guys remember the old way to do it, the Shark Tank was right above the ring, but this time they had it out in the entranceway, which I thought was actually a really good way of doing it. I feel like it would distract less from the match itself because they're not staring at Dirty Dom, who's above the ring. They're now just staring at the ring for the match, and Dom's kind of on the side. There were still some shenanigans with this one. Dom at one point opened up the cage and he fell, and I swear to God, I forgot that he was hanging from a chain. When he fell, I thought it was a botch, and my heart skipped a beat. I was like, oh, Dom's dead. Like, I was so nervous. But no, he just basically was dangling upside down, which gave Rhea Ripley the chance to grab a kendo stick and beat the crap out of him. And from there, sorry, before we get to the ending, the match was fine. I don't know, the crowd didn't seem super into it. I liked what I was seeing. There was some good spots here, but it was very one-sided. It was very much just Rhea destroying Liv for the whole match up until the end. And then the ending happened, which kind of ruined the whole match for me. And I'm sure a lot of people on the line are not going to like it either. So Raquel came back. She returned, which is fantastic. Good news. I'm happy to see that she seems to be healthy again. I know she had something preventing her from wrestling, but hopefully that's been taken care of and she's good to go now. She made her return, and that's fantastic. She attacked Rhea Ripley, which is good because I kind of talked about it in my prediction that I want Rhea Ripley to move on from the Judgment Day, and maybe if we're lucky, this is a way to move on. Because yes, she helped Liv win the match, but there was no official Raquel as part of the Judgment Day. And as long as she's not a part of it, big thumbs up. If on Raw we see Raquel join the Judgment Day and Rhea continues with the Judgment Day, that's going to suck. So that's where I'm at storyline-wise. But the ending, let's get back to the ending, because they screwed it up. And I don't know whose fault it is. I don't know what was supposed to... Well, I feel like I know what was supposed to happen, but it clearly wasn't. The ref clearly was not supposed to see Raquel attack. So basically what happened, Rhea Ripley had the kendo stick and was beating the crap out of Dirty Dom. And Raquel came out and attacked her from behind, got her in the ring, hit her finish, and she put Liv Morgan on top for the pin. The problem was, the ref saw it and called for the DQ. So the DQ gave Rhea Ripley the win, but Raquel still grabbed Liv and put her on top for the pinfall, realizing the DQ happened, pulled her off, tried to lift her up, realized that Liv needed the bell, put her back down, went to pick up the bell, and the whole thing felt super messy, and I felt really bad for Raquel, because clearly none of this was her fault. She stuck to the script, which was attack Rhea, hit my finish, put Liv on top for the win. That was what she was told to do, and that's exactly what she did. But something happened along the way where the ref saw something he wasn't supposed to see. Then he tried to pretend he didn't see it by running the other way. So if you go back and watch, the ref is there, Raquel hits, and he panics because he's not supposed to see it. Turns around, starts sprinting the other way to pretend he never saw it. But everyone saw that he saw it. So someone else rang the bell, and then the ref was like, well, they rang it. So he went back in. It was a mess, and I felt really bad watching it because it made the whole thing just look terrible. So I feel bad, but yeah, it was not good. And this is production level errors. I don't blame Liv, don't blame Rhea, don't blame Dom. Production. This is all Triple H's fault, of course. Anyways, I hope this still signifies that Rhea can go and fight Raquel. End this stuff with Judgment Day. Let's give Liv a new challenger. I think Dom did great in his role in the Shark Tank, which of course he was going to get involved, but I felt like he got involved just enough to not ruin the match, but the match itself also could have just been a little bit better. But I really think no one's going to care about the match. We're all going to talk about those last 4 minutes that were really rough to go through. And then we got the main event, which the main event Before we even talk about the match, which was Solo and Jacob versus Cody and Roman, I feel bad about saying this, but what the heck was up with Cody's entrance, man? I don't know what was happening, but the band, great at the start. Once Cody's music started playing and the band was trying to play the song at the same time as his entrance music, they were off sync. They were stopping and playing and muting and pause. I don't know. Again, production, really rough there. Then we got an incredible entrance for Roman Reigns, and this tag match was exactly what you thought it was. A good tag match, but yeah, the first half of this was really a slog, but that's kind of what you expect with bloodline tag team matches, Roman Reigns matches. Cody, likes to have the pace go up, and babyface Roman is a lot more fast paced than he used to be. But this was still typical classic bloodline tag team match up until the second half. I thought the second half was really good. We got Cody doing a big splash, which I don't think I've ever seen Cody do, from the turnbuckle onto Jacob Fatu, which is the opposite of what happened last time, which was really a good callback there. We got a returning Jimmy Uso beating up the Tama Tonga and Tangaloa. And then we got the amazing hug, big pop after the match when Roman won. He hugged out with Jimmy Uso and the crowd loved it. And then the new bloodline attacked Cody Rhodes, which got Roman Reigns to come back out and help him fight them all off, give the belt to Cody, signifying respect there, which I really, really like. And then we got the return of Dwayne himself, and he did nothing. The easiest paycheck of his life. He walked out, did 1, 2, 3, and left. Oh, sorry. And then he did this motion, and then he left. I still really liked it, though, because whose side is he on? There was no clear cut whose side he's on. He raised this. So at first, he's with Roman. But then he went here to here, saying 1, 2, 3, and then whatever the heck this means. I love it. I think that it's a great way to set up what's coming next. And so I'm very excited. It's awesome to see The Rock return now, because in my head, if you were to ask me, I thought he was going to come back in January for Netflix and Rumble and WrestleMania. But now is a good time, because I do want to see what they're going to do with The Rock. If he's involved now until WrestleMania, that's so much more time of Dwayne. And whether you guys like him or not, I think he's great in his character right now, so I want more of that. And that's my review of Bad Blood. Honestly, not an amazing show, but not a terrible show either. It's kind of just there in the middle, in my opinion. An amazing Hell in a Cell. If that Hell in a Cell match wasn't there, I'd be a lot less positive about the show. But that Hell in a Cell match was fantastic, and that ending was fantastic. But that middle part was really, really slow. It just, I don't know, it felt like this week with the last Monster Standing match and even the ladder match, I didn't talk about SmackDown, but the three-way ladder match, those two matches should have been on this show, and then maybe move Bayley, Nia away, and even move Finn Balor and Damian. As much as I like them, the other stuff was better. I feel like they did a fantastic job of getting us pumped for the last Monster Standing match. I feel like if that was on this show, the show would have been 1,000 times better. Nothing against Finn and Damian, but it's run its course, and thank God it's over now. So yeah, good show. I feel like the biggest positive coming out of this show is the fact that the Punk-Drew rivalry is done. The Finn Balor-Damian Priest rivalry is done. I feel like this is the end of the Bayley-Nia Jax storyline. And it feels like the end, hopefully, fingers crossed, of the Rhea and Liv storyline. So 4 story arcs are over and we're moving on. That's fantastic, because that means that when we watch Raw and SmackDown moving forward, there's a little bit more intrigue and mystery as what comes next for these guys. When it comes to Cody, I'm hoping this is also him moving away from the bloodline, because now we've got Jimmy, who can be with Roman, going against the bloodline and setting up war games, because that's clearly where we're going with that. That gives us the Rock of the mystery of whose side is he on. So there's a lot of questions, and that's what you want when you're watching wrestling. Give a reason to see what's next, but also end the stories at the right time. I feel like it was the right time to end the story, so big thumbs up there. But yeah, overall, the matches weren't what I was hoping for. Let me know what you guys let me know what you guys thought, though, is what I was trying to say, down in the comments. It's been a very late night, so sorry for making a lot of mistakes, but hey, that's what recording is all about. Have a good rest of your day. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.